The isti'adha, saying A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, is it part of the Qur'an or not? Why do people do tajweed in it then? Why do people do tajweed in isti'adha? Don't worry, it's okay, I'm just asking. Good. You're used to it, mashallah. Anything else? Anyone? Warm up. That's a good one. Taking the light session before you get into it, yeah? Mashallah. طيب. When it comes to isti'adha, we know that it's not a part of the Qur'an, but we have been commanded to do the isti'adha, right? Allah Ta'ala, He says in the Qur'an, what? وَإِذَا قَرَأْتَ الْقُرْآنَ فَاسْتَعِذْ بِاللَّهِ. When you read the Qur'an, then seek refuge in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from shaitan. But it's not an ayah in of itself. However, the scholars say, لأنها تابعة للقراءة. Because it's a follow-up of the recitation, it's okay for you to do what? The tajweed in the isti'adha. Now, if a person doesn't do tajweed in it, can we go to him, oh, you're doing a big mistake? No, we can't. This is why in the recordings that you hear in Haramain, for example, when they start off, how did they say the A'udhu Billah? A'udhu Billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Yeah? Then the Bismillah is in a tone. Now you understand where it comes from, right? So again, it's not a big matter, right? It's not something that we should fight over, okay? طيب. Again, going back to the point, why is it? لأنها تابعة للقراءة. Because it's a follow-up of the recitation, this is why it's okay for you to do tajweed in it. And generally, subhanAllah, strict teachers, I'll mention something, when I studied in Egypt to my Shaykh, when I read the isti'adha, I think I got about 5-6 mistakes, right? Okay, so it prepares you for the actual Qur'an recitation, okay? طيب, we're going to break it down, inshallah, bit by bit, inshallah. So it will be a bit overwhelming, so please try to concentrate, inshallah. The first word that we have is a'udhu. Again, a'udhu. Okay, I can already hear some mistakes coming, okay? And I'll go over it. Don't worry, these are common mistakes that everyone makes. The first thing that we need to understand is the first part of it, there's an alif and an ayn. Okay, you're going to come to learn that alif is a letter that you don't put emphasis in. Like the letter A. Does anyone say, no, they say A, right? It's a normal letter, there's no emphasis to it. It's from the bottom of the throat. But then there's a quick transition when we go into the ayn. What happens to the ayn? It's from the middle of the throat. Now, sometimes people, they rush to say the ayn and then they make a mistake on the alif. They say a'udhu, a'udhu, okay? So they're saying double ayn. That's one way of looking at it. The other way is people find ayn too hard, so what do? A'udhu. Two common mistakes just on what? One part of it. But what do? There's a quick transition. Your tonsil should move, watch. A'u. You see? What did I do? I started off normal. A'u. Quick transition. Okay? This is how it should be. Again, I'm going over the common mistakes. The dhal, we move on. You're thinking, subhanAllah, how many mistakes? Just one word. Okay? Again, we're talking about a general analysis of it, inshallah. The common mistakes. We want to be perfect in reciting the Qur'an, inshallah. The dhal, okay, is a letter that we use the tip of the tongue, right? A'udhu. Many times we hear people say a'udhu. The tongue is being hidden, but the tongue shouldn't be hidden. You should see the tip of the tongue. A'udhu. That's the first thing. Second thing, the dhal, is it a heavy letter or is it a light letter? Okay. So let's say it with a fatha. That. Smile and say, guys. That. Say it with a kasra. The. Why is it that when it comes to dhamma we go like this, vu? Try it now with the a'udhu, you'll see that you're making that mistake. You're saying a'udhu. Yes or no? Right? Okay? But why is it so? It shouldn't be like this. Dhal is a light letter. So we should try and make it, and keep it light. Watch my mouth movements. Very important. Watch. A'udhu. It's like an awkward smile, isn't it? A'udhu. Practice makes perfect. Don't worry, inshallah. Okay? This is the first part of it. Next part, we have billahi. When we talk about the billahi, it's a very simple one. But there are certain mistakes people can make. One is not so obvious. Sometimes we have people that say billahi, but that's not that obvious. The one that's more obvious is there's this concept of imala that people do. What is imala? Imala is you're not doing a fatha, nor are you doing a kasra. You're doing something in between. So you're not saying a, or you're not saying e, you're saying a. Okay? So a'udhu billahi, 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 billahi. Can you hear it? Billahi. You're not realizing, but you're actually saying that. But is it billahi? Try it now with a smile. Billahi. You see the difference? It's a slight difference that will make a big difference to your recitation. So we say, A'udhu billahi. MashaAllah, I'm seeing smiles coming out. Today your mouth's going to be hurting at the end of the lesson. Alhamdulillah. طيب, moving on, okay, we have the next part, which is Minash Shaytani. We're going to join this together. Two common mistakes that people, or 2 or 3 common mistakes that people make. The first is when you're joining the noon with the sheen. Sheen, light letter or heavy letter? MashaAllah, good. MashaAllah, the brother's on it. I need more engagement, inshallah. طيب, say sheen, everyone. Sheen. Do you smile or don't you smile? طيب. When we get and recite it, sometimes people say what? Minash Shaytani. Think about it. I'm not going to judge anyone. You judge for yourself. Minash Shaytani. Should it be like that? Minash Shaytani. Good. MashaAllah, I can see the difference now. طيب. The next part that we have is the ya and ta. You see, ya, it's not a bouncing letter. We don't bounce it. We don't say Minash Shaytani. It's got sack into it. Minash Shayta. Straight to join it. Shayta. And not Shayata. That's wrong. Okay? And the last common mistake within this word is the ta. By the way, we're going to get into detail talking about every letter as we go along. But this is regarding the verses we're covering. Ta. What's the common mistake in the ta? Okay, well, that's one. Anything else? There's another one. More common. Twa. Adding a W to it. That's common also with us Bengalis. Right? Okay. We say twa. Okay. No, it's not twa. Okay. There's not a W after it. You're adding an extra letter. Right? So watch. Minash Shaytani. Make your mouth into an oval shape without moving your bottom lip. When you start moving your bottom lip, what's going to happen? You're going to make that W sound. Watch. A'udhu billahi minash shaytan. And not twa. I've moved my bottom lip and then the wow comes out. Right? So that's the next part. Moving on, nir-rajim. Ra is of course a heavy letter here. So make sure that you're making it into an oval shape. The last part is the rajim here. When you're ending verses, it's a general concept that we all start to read from our nose. We go like this. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. We start reading from our nose, right? It's a general thing that we all do. But how do we get rid of that? Anyone? I'm here to learn as well, please. How do we get rid of that nasal sound at the end? Very simple. When you're reciting at the end of verses, don't go down a hill, go up a hill. So you raise your voice and don't lower your voice. Don't say rajim. No. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. Clear now. It comes out clearly. Okay? So this is how you overcome these mistakes. Was that too detailed for what? Just the isti'adha? Okay? So this here, now that you know the common mistakes, the next, when we start, listening to the recitation, you can try to avoid these mistakes. Okay? Not everyone's going to make these mistakes, number one. Number two, we're here to learn and make our Qur'an perfect. And this is the way that we are taught by our Shaykh. They're probably more strict. Okay? Alright? So inshallah we'll be learning together.